Well, hey everybody, it's Tom here. Welcome back to my shop. It is a nice, cool October afternoon, so that means old man winter is right around the corner. So I better get started on this project. And as you saw by the title of the video, I am participating again in the Secret Santa project at Steve at Firehouse Custom Fab YouTube channel puts on every year. So this will be my third year participating. First year I made a bottle opener. Second year, which was last year, I made a Starrett's version of a pocket level. And this year I think what I'm going to do, actually I don't think I am going to do, I'm going to make a set of coasters. So we're going to make them out of aluminum. I got a nice big chunk of 6061 here. And we'll make a set of 4 coasters. And also got a piece of aluminum here and a aluminum rod, and that will be basically the home base, should we say, to encapsulate all 4 of them, you know, so they'll sit there nice together. So looking at that, it's got a whole bunch of lathe work, so hope you guys enjoy that. And you know, we'll have to drill and tap a couple holes over here for this, so some minor mill work, but it's going to be mainly aluminum turning on the lathe. So let's get started. I didn't clean up a little more. Let me take a measurement. do this with you guys. There. Slide you back. All right. Get back to my 0. This is just an arbitrary number, but see where we're at. All right. I think we're going to take that. These chips killing me. A final depth. I'm trying to take it slow to get a good finish, but also just very briefly stopping to try to break that chip. We're just going to hang up right there. Hope it doesn't scratch it too bad. Let me check a width measurement here. All right, finished that hole. So hopefully this makes sense. So I'm sticking my logos here in. So that's gonna go right in there. That'll work out. I did go a little bit too deep with the end mill, but then again, I'm just kind of playing with looks. And originally this lip here was gonna be deeper, but I think this is enough. So on the next ones, we won't go as deep with the end mill for starting. And this will get covered up so nobody will know. So only you guys will know I got one mistake. Now we break some edges, we'll get this parted off, and then we'll just make 3 more. I'm just going to do it by hand so don't mess it up. Don't need much, just that one little corner there on each one. Take too much off, then it'd be more of a ramp, and I don't want it looking like that. All right, that'll work. Slow it down, I'll see. She wants to hum a little bit. I'll keep this thing buried. That's what I was worried about. Yeah, that's a wobble that moved it. Alright, this lathe sure hates parting. Well, we're at the bandsaw. Figured I'd be pushing my luck trying to part 1.5 inches on that small lathe. It just doesn't like parting. I figured maybe I'd get away with it with aluminum, but oh well, no biggie. We'll just slice through these real quick. And then of course you guys know when it's saw time, it's Mr. Chaos time, right buddy? For those that are new to my channel, this is Chaos. He's my shop dog and companion, and he loves to play. Right buddy? And sometimes he pretends he's a YouTube star, but you're just my pal, right? Hi. Say hey to everybody. I'm hanging out this nice cool October day. Alright, you drop it, I'll throw it. Not over there, drop it right here. Come on, help me out. Help me out, bud. I know, yes, hi. Hi. Okay. Alright, fresh off the bandsaw, so I'm going to wait to face this with the other 3 at the same time because I'm going to turn the jaws around. So, got this chucked back up, got her dialed in, and I'm just going to go ahead and make another 3 of them. Same process. So I'll bring you guys along periodically, but I don't want to bore you with the same stuff. Alrighty, this was the smallest one, so we'll get all of them down to this thickness right here. So that's what they're going to look like. We're going to put felt on the bottom, so I'm not worried about that little tit. I just broke that edge with a file. And then of course this is going to get epoxied in here. So I think they'll look pretty good. What do you think? So here's a look at the coasters with the tag glued in. Trying to move it around so it's not getting washed out and you guys can see it. So they're looking good. So they're basically done. Only thing left to do is put the felt on the bottom. But what we need to do now is we got to turn this base plate down. Can't put a hole in it and put an arbor to hold it, so gonna try some pressure turning. So we are going to stick this baby here and try to take the OD down. Well, there's my setup. So using a bullnose center, got it pushed against the back of the, or should I say the front of the faceplate. And now, you know, normally if this was thick enough, you could put it in a 3-jaw, you know, cut half of it and then turn it around and then cut the other half. But I mean, this is, you know, we got less than ½ an inch to work with, so I tried grabbing it and there's just not enough. It just doesn't want to stay in there. It's not safe. So I figure we'll give this a shot. We'll just have to take it slow and easy. Hopefully you guys can see that, but you guys are wiggling. Let me get you situated so it's not shaking. Let's see if this is going to be any better. Alright, looks decent on the viewfinder, so we're just going to take it easy. Kind of cramped quarters here. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Get my zero here. There she is. So we have roughly 370 thou to go in. See how it likes to just take off 10 until it gets round, since obviously didn't get it perfectly in the center on this faceplate. need to index that tool a little more, don't I? Yeah, looks like it. Not sure if you can see that from where you're at, even though I turned it a little more in. It's actually rubbing on the bottom of the tool holder itself. So let me get this out, get over the grinder, get some clearance in there. I'll be back. Not sure how well you can see that, so still rubbing right up there. And I really didn't want to grind a whole bunch more off of this and kind of, ruin this turning tool. So you guys can see that I got a piece of cemented carbide, just one of those cheap ones. But it's got plenty of clearance and it seems to be cutting well, so we're going to run with this. Gonna be slow going, of course. And chips aren't going to break, so it's going to make it even worse. We'll get through it. See, it's cutting a lot nicer now that we're not rubbing. Alright, I'm just going to whittle away. I'll bring it back here in a little bit. Got her all done, down to size, no dramas. So there's that cemented carbide tooling I was talking about. So I'm gonna break this edge here, and then we obviously got to get it off, get the other edge broken, and then get it over to the mill and get some holes in her. Oh God, you hear that sticky stuff? She's finally letting loose. for free. All right, gotta make 2 more. Let's see, can you guys see that? Not sure getting washed out, so getting the rotary table all centered up. And we'll take her to there. And back over here. So, table's all centered up. Now, I just like using my rotary table because one, I got it, and two, I can throw it up on here, get it centered up, and get it knocked out quicker than, you know, if I have to just bolt the part down, go get the manual, figure out how to do the bolt hole pattern on the DRO, because I hardly ever use it. So by the time I figure it out, got it programmed, and then start, you know, I can have this rocking and rolling and knocked out in no time. So I normally use the rotary table instead of the bolt hole pattern in the DRO. All right, looks good. I'll go get the other two knocked out. So putting it all together, hopefully this is starting to make sense. So this will kind of be like the home base for the coasters. So you saw me just drill and countersink these. Saw me make these 3 standoffs previously. And it's a snug fit. I didn't mean to make it as snug as it is, but guess that'll work. So you can see, so they'll hold it like that. Got just a little bit. I was shooting for a few more thou, but that'll work, I guess. You gotta get them straight, otherwise they won't go in. There you go. So one cool set of coasters. Now all we need to do is get felt on the bottom of the base and the coasters itself, and it'll be done. So I've got some of this gorgeous, what is that, you know, blue purplish felt. I grabbed a couple yards to do a machinist box that I picked up at a consignment shop a couple years ago, so I've got plenty left over. think this will look good on the bottom of the coasters. Just hopefully I'm still in frame. Let's check. Yeah, you guys can see that. Cool. Let me go ahead and try my hand at this, see if I can just mark it. I don't have a fabric one. I was hoping this one would work. Those Silver Streak welder's pencils, but it's not doing a good job. Maybe going to plan B here. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna leave anything. If it is, it's really faint. Well, I can barely see it. All right, we'll try it. So I'm just gonna cut these out, and I will bring you back when I got them cut out. All right, so I've got all the felt cut out. Might need a little bit of trimming once it's glued on. I've already cleaned the bottoms of this base and all the coasters. Got me some 3M 77 sticky glue spray, I guess you want to call her. So we'll get some on the bottom of each coaster in this base. Let it tack up, and then we'll put the felt on here. See if I can do this without getting it all over myself. Alright, there's one. Oh, now it's going to get all roll over me. I can feel the stickiness on my fingers now. Wonderful. Ugh. Okay, let me get this off my fingers. I'll be right back. All right, it's had a chance to sit up a little bit, and let's see, get in frame. Kind of got like one shot at this. Let's see if we can get her down. There we go. There's one. There's two. Try and do this in real time. Got to clean the sticky stuff off the sides of those coasters. All right, everybody's got felt. I'll let this sit up a little bit and I'll start trimming. Well, there you go, guys. What do you think? One good looking set of coasters, I think. Now, I didn't bother to polish them up because I didn't want them too nice, because I want the recipient to actually use them, not stick them on the shelf because they're too pretty. So I think they look good just as is. Just to recap, so I've got my logo there in the center, and I think the felt looks really good. I trimmed it up, so you got it. Nice set of 4 hanging out, and then I think this is still in frame right here. But of course, then you got them to use. I made them large enough. They're just under 3 inches, so can will fit on it fine. A bottle will fit on her fine. So, and a regular glass should fit on fine. Anything that's going to sweat, because that's what you want these for, right? So, been a fun project. Hope you guys enjoyed. A lot of lathe turning there. Not sure when I'm gonna mail this. I think we're supposed to do it about mid-December, maybe first week in December or something like that. So that's probably when the video will go out, and that's when this participant will get these. So look up Secret Santa 2025, you know, that way that link will take you to the whole, I guess, you know, playbook of everybody that's participating. I think there's about 8 of us or so this year, so there should be some good projects. And I appreciate you hanging out and watching. Thanks for subscribing. You know, thumbs up will help move this project up and get it out on YouTube. You guys have a good Christmas. If I don't see you between this video and Christmas, not sure if I'll have a project or not. So if I do not, have a great Christmas and a great holiday. If I do, well, it'll just be redundant, and I'm gonna wish you a Merry Christmas again anyways. So with that, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching again, and we'll see you on the next video or the next project, whatever. All right, bye. Well, now comes the fun part, cleaning up.